Back again with another one.
Another one.
Welcome to my world.
Welcome to my world. It's Bigg Vic TV.
Welcome to my world. It's my world.
Give me a thumbs up just for this intro. What is up, guys? It's the homie Bigg Vic. We are back in here with another video, but today I want to hit you guys with a quick story time. I gotta tell you guys this crazy story. This is probably one of my craziest stories I've probably ever told on my channel. I'm gonna get right into it. I got to tell y'all about the time I was renting out my mobile home. I was renting it out. The weirdest thing happened with the tenant that I had in this mobile home. So let's get right into it. Prior to me renting out my mobile home to this particular tenant, I had the mobile home was, being rented out to someone that was, on Section 8. So I had it rented through Section 8, no problems, getting my checks in the mail every month like clockwork. So this tenant decided to move out. So I had a vacant mobile home and I listed it on Craigslist to be to rent it back out to someone else. So I get the mobile home, I get a couple of phone calls, got quite a few phone calls. One guy had his money ready to go. He said him and his girlfriend and their baby were going to be moving into the mobile home. Well, they wanted to move into the mobile home. They were moving into town. I'm like, okay, cool. Let's meet at the McDonald's. I'll give you the application, fill it out. And, you got your first month's and your security deposit. We can rock and roll. I'll go ahead and rent it out to you. So I did that. We met at the McDonald's. He filled all the paperwork out, got in, gave me the deposit, first month's, whatnot. Gave him a copy. I had a copy. I called him maybe a week later to see he already moved into the mobile home. He hadn't moved in yet. I'm like, all right, cool. So he told me they were still moving some stuff out of their old place and moving it into the mobile home. So I'm like, all right, cool. So maybe a few weeks go by. I hit him back up like, yo, have y'all moved in yet? How you like the mobile home? He said, yeah, man, I'm out of town. My girl's still trying to get some of the stuff moved in, blah blah blah. I'm like, all right, cool. Maybe a month, 30 days probably rolled around. Well, it's getting close to 30 days. My wife is actually riding in the area to go get her hair done, and she passes by where the mobile home park that the mobile home was in. So she gives me a call, like out of the blue. She's like, she said, yeah, I just happened to be riding by, and I looked over at the park, and the mobile home is missing. So I'm like, wait a minute, what do you mean the mobile home is not there, is missing? She's like, I'm telling you, the mobile home is gone. I'm like, wait, how is it possible that the mobile home is gone? So I'm like, I'm getting, my mind is racing right now. I'm like, wait a minute, what, your mobile home is gone? So I'm like, all right, let me ride out there. It was about an hour away from where I live at. So I ride out there and look and see, where I go to the park. I'm talking to the park manager, and matter of fact, I couldn't even find the park manager, but I noticed the mobile home was gone. So I immediately called the police. I'm dialing 911 like, yo, somebody got to tell me something, like what's going on with this mobile home. So I'm calling dude who I rented the mobile home to. He's not answering his phone. So I go pull up the application. I see his girl. He put his girlfriend's name and number down as a reference. So I call her phone. I'm like, hey, have you seen, I really can remember the dude's name, but I want to say it's Charles. I want to say his name was Charles, dude out of Charleston, South Carolina. So I call, I'm like, hey, have you seen Charles, blah blah blah. She's like, no, I think he's out of town, blah blah blah. I said, well, when you talk to him, you tell Charles my mobile home is missing and is not in the place where it's not in the park where it's supposed to be at. So she's like, okay, I'll give him the message. Matter of fact, I think I told her, tell Charles that Darlington County Police Department is looking for him because I reported all the information that I rented my mobile home out to him, and my mobile home is gone, and he is responsible. His name is on this application now. So she's like, okay, I'll let him know. So after all this time, he wasn't answering his phone. He finally called me back up. He's acting like he doesn't have a clue of what I'm talking about. He's like, he don't know what I'm talking about, blah, 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 this, that, and the third. I said, well, at the end of that conversation, I said, bro, let me tell you something. I said, if my mobile home doesn't come up, you may as well go ahead and turn yourself in to the police, because I've already reported you as the tenant that was in my mobile home. So I immediately just like started thinking, like, where could my mobile home be? I'm thinking. And it was time for the taxes to be paid, right? In order to move a mobile home from the lot that it's on, you have to pay, especially if you're going to move it out of the county, you have to make sure all the taxes are paid. And my taxes hadn't been paid yet because it was in January and the taxes were due. I was about to pay my taxes on the mobile home. So I go on the website, I look up the tax rolls. As I'm looking up to see what my taxes were going to be for the year, I see my taxes were already paid. And there was this lady's name, Peggy something, I can't remember her last name, Peggy, whoever it was, her name was on as being paid, that had paid my taxes. So now I'm saying to myself, how in the world can she pay my taxes, and my taxes, and like they weren't past due, but they were due. So her name was on there and they had an address for her. So I said, okay, if she paid the taxes, maybe the address that's going to be on the taxes is going to be where my mobile home is at. So apparently this was her sister's address. So I rides to the address that I seen on my tax report, on my tax forms. And I leave, I knock on the door, nobody answers the door. I'm like, so I go back to my car, I write out a little note. Please have Miss Peggy give me a call about the mobile home that was purchased, the taxes of the mobile home she paid taxes on. So later on that evening, a lady gives me a call. It's her sister. The lady's sister gives me a call and it's like, so she's like, yeah, I said, yeah, this is Mr. Newton, and your sister paid the taxes on my mobile home. And so the lady's like, yeah, my sister and her old man, they paid, just bought a brand new, not a brand new, but they just bought a double wide out of Darlington. They paid $2,500 for it. I'm like, wait a minute, what? Back up. You said she paid what? She said, yeah, they just bought a single wide trailer for $2,500. And I'm like, I said, man, it's impossible that they could have bought a mobile home, that mobile home, for $2,500. Because she said, yeah, she said they got the deed and title. I'm like, you kidding me? They can't have a deed and title. The mobile home is not even paid for. It's not paid off yet. So I don't even have the deed and title. So how could they have the deed and title? So I said, could you please have her give me a call as soon as you speak to her? So I waited, maybe a couple hours passed by. The lady Peggy, who paid the taxes, her and her husband or whatever, they called me. And I'm on the phone with her and I'm telling her, well, kind of telling her what's going on. She said, yep. I said, now can you tell me, you said you guys purchased my mobile home for $2,500. He said, yeah. She said, there was an ad on Craigslist and that we responded to, said mobile home, $2,500. I said, you got to be kidding me. You got to be kidding me. So let's back up for a second. So all this time I'm wondering why the dude had not moved in, him and his lady had not moved into the mobile home, is because he was buying himself time to put my mobile home up for sale on Craigslist so that he could sell it within 30 days, get the money, and and get on through. So I'm like, I said, wait a minute, I said, how did the guy look? She said, he had some a gold tooth in his mouth, and it looked like he had a wig on his head, like some type of curly wig on his head, because he actually had braids when I sat down with him at McDonald's. So he actually put a wig on and sold them my mobile home. This dude created a fake deed and title to my mobile home and gave these people a fake deed and title. And so before that, She put her husband on the phone. I'm talking to the guy. He's telling me, he's swearing up and down that this is their mobile home now. We going back and forth. I'm like, he says, sir. I said, sir, that mobile home is my mobile home. That deed and title that you have in your hand is not a legitimate deed and title. The guy is going back and forth with me. He said, I'm telling you. He said, man, he said, buddy, this is our mobile home. We got the deed and title right here in my hand. Clear as day, right here in my hand. Country guy too. I'm like, sir, that is impossible that this mobile home is paid for. I said, when you went inside that mobile home, did you see how that mobile home looked? Dude, that mobile home looked like it would sell for $2,500. I mean, the mobile home looked too good. You should have been able to tell immediately that this was not legitimate based on how the mobile home looked. The mobile home was in very, very good condition. I put new carpets down, had hardwood floor in the mobile home, new paint and everything that was inside of the mobile home. New door, screen, all that stuff. So anyway, they had my mobile home on their property, right? So they had moved my mobile home. I went back and talked to the park manager. Number one, they're not supposed to move. He knows that was my mobile home, and he knows if he did not see me at that transaction, that something was up. So the mobile home park manager did not call me at all to say, Vic, we got you. Do you know anything about your mobile home did you sell your mobile home? Do you know that your mobile home is being sold? So I get back, I'm talking back to the white couple. I didn't mean to say the white couple, but I'm talking back to the couple who purchased my mobile home. We're going back and forth on the telephone. The guy, the husband, he's telling me, he said, he even sold us. He said they sold us the wash machine and dryer that I had in my mobile home. He sold us the wash machine and dryer separately. We paid another $500 for the wash machine and dryer. I said, what? He sold you my wash machine and dryer separately for $500 more. So they actually paid about $3,000 for my mobile home with the wash machine and dryer. I'm in total disbelief as I'm listening to what he's telling me, right? So I get back in touch with the guy, the deputy. One of the deputies gave me a call, the investigator. He gives me a call. He tells me that the guy turned himself in, with the mobile, who purchased the mobile home. He turns himself in, and he was giving me the date that I could, come to the bond hearing. So we're sitting down. Let's fast forward a little bit. I'm sitting down at the bond hearing, waiting to be able to go inside the court to when they bring the guys in who were arrested or whatever, whoever turned themselves in who were arrested. So we're sitting in the lobby. At this time, the husband and the wife who purchased the mobile home, they're pleading to me, telling me that their son, is in love with the mobile home. He had a toothbrush scrubbing the bathroom cleaning the bathroom with the toothbrush. He's in love with it, blah blah blah. And remember, the guy was telling me that they had a real deed and title, and I'm telling him that there's no possible way you have a real deed and title. So the guy who purchased the mobile home, who was renting the mobile home from me, that his father is overhearing our conversation, because the lady's telling me, they need to put him under the jail for selling us, giving us a fake deed and title to this mobile home. So his pops walks over and he said, I overheard y'all talking about, the mobile home. That's my son, blah blah blah. I run a towing company, and y'all shouldn't be wanting him to stay locked up in jail so that you can get your money. And he looked at me, he said, from my understanding, all you need is the payoff amount for your mobile home, which was about $7,000 at the time, and then all they would need is that means that they can just keep the mobile home after that. And I'm like, I'm like, yeah, pretty much. That's the situation. He said, well, you ought to want Charles to get out so that he can get out of here and work to pay you guys your money. So nevertheless, well, they let us into the room for the court, for the bond hearing. We go inside, and finally I see him step up, the guy, and I'm just looking at this guy like, bro, like you really just like sold my mobile home under false pretenses. So he gets up there, the judge asks, did we have anything to say? I'm like, absolutely, I sure do. But anyway, I said a few words, I said a few things, and he ended up getting fined. I think his bond was like $75,000. He had $50,000 for breach of trust, fraudulent, something else, but altogether it was about $75,000 for the bond. So I think he had to pay maybe $7,500 to be bonded out. I think it's when I did get it. They did let me know that he did make bond. Just maybe about a few days later or something like that. But anyway, I was supposed to I ended up getting with the couple afterwards, and they were gonna just start paying me to buy the mobile home. Long story short, I still don't have the mobile home, and I think my insurance company, I think they came and I'm not sure if they got the mobile home, because the city of Darlington has not reached out to me since then, and it's been like quite some time now. And anyway, the mobile home is no longer listed on my credit anymore. This probably was like one of the craziest things ever happened to me. So being a landlord and renting things out, you got to be super careful about who you rent your properties out to. And there's some strange people out here that will do basically anything, to get into a property. My advice: run credit checks, background checks, the whole 9 yards. Something that I didn't do at that time. Just wanted to get somebody in the property, and I learned a very valuable lesson in that situation. But look, these scam artists out here, man, every time you turn around there's somebody scheming. So be careful. But yeah, that's my story, man. That's my story. Have y'all ever had any weird experiences like that? If you have, man, drop them down below in the comment section, man. It's your man, Bigg Vic. Always hustle, never stop growing. And I will see you guys in my next video. Don't get scammed. Don't fall victim to none of these weirdos out here, all right? Peace.